We're a mess. I know there was no audio, which is the best part because I accidentally fat fingered the mouse and dropped my stupid thumbnail. No, it's intentional. It's intentional. It's intentional, folks out there. So I clearly screwed up. I accidentally dropped the thumbnail off, and you saw my face, and I knew, yeah, Shelly's right. We call that a sneak peek. It's a well-known thing in the industry. And then we did the, can I get a just because we're a hot mess. And as soon as I noticed that you all were there, I put the thumbnail back up and made you all go away.
Because that's the power of
editing,
the MacBook.
Editing and the MacBook and the soundboard. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Technically Speaking Live. It is Wednesday, 8:30-ish p.m. on the East Coast and probably like 11 o'clock for our friends over in Queensland, Australia. Tech Odyssey says, #dumb. Well, you suck, Adam. You continuously suck. I just want you to make sure you never forget that. Big Daddy Juan is in the chat. So is Shelly. Thank you so much. Banksy034. Hey, buddy. What's up? What's good, my friend? We have a good group chat going with Banksy. Best part is those TikToks. But I got a little special something in the mail the other day, and I don't think you've even seen it. But I got this. Per my last email, I bought it myself.
Oh, well.
Per my last email, phrase, can you read? 2, you better reread that Gmail again, or also email again, so you don't ask any other stupid questions. Yep.
Pretty much.
Uncle Thursday Gaming Evening, 4A 5G owner here. That's what I'm talking about. Dean, what time is it? What time is it in England right now? So you guys, it's late. Like late or early, depending on how you look at it. It's going to be 5 o'clock. No, 5 hours ahead. So it's going to be 1:35. Unless you guys have the weird thing like Hyderabad has where they has the half hour. Yeah. So it's going to be about the better part of 2 a.m. Almost 2 a.m. Kind of 2 a.m. Also 1:35. What's going on? Stats. Save me from myself. I forgot my drinks. No, I didn't.
It's been a while.
Jesus. Where were you last week?
I was on vacation.
Evidently so was I.
My second vacation. Well, I think you didn't want to go up against Big Papa Biden last week on the address on Wednesday.
I totally forgot there was even an address.
But yeah, it's been a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be back. Good to be back in the 1% studios,
yeah.
hanging out with the Peachmeister. But you know, always a hot mess express here, and that's just the way we like it.
It is a hot mess express. It is a hot mess express indeed. So I would like to say we have a full docket on the show. That would be a lie because I just don't know what we're going to talk about. We do have notes.
We've got about 3 things on the show notes.
We got quite a few more things. I think we're going to have on there. We're going to talk about Apple Tagageddon. I'm coining that hashtag Apple Tagageddon.
Hashtag-ageddon.
Hashtag Tagalicious.
Hashtag-ageddon.
Well, I want to do like Fergalicious. Tagalicious.
Tagalicious.
Okay. I didn't know this, But we're going to talk about Bluetooth speakers and a bathroom fan. Phenomenal idea. Oh my God. Unbelievable.
I didn't remember to use it.
Google, why would you? You didn't know until I just told you.
No, you told me when I was here on Sunday.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to talk about Google doing an oopsie on themselves and then deleting a tweet about the Pixel A series buds. Talking about working from home with Google. Jamie Dimon's an asshole. That's it. That's the tweet. We're going to talk about that too. Signal run the most just like savagely ripping Facebook. Hilarious. But I do want to start this off with something that came up a few weeks ago. Good friend, longtime supporter of the channel, Juan. He is in the chat. He created what I think is a outstanding idea. And of course, much like I did with Shelley before, like tagging along or riding the coattails of a great idea, I wanted to see exactly how he was going to handle his phone challenges. And if you go check out, if you would be so kind, executive producer, going to Juan's channel, finding the video of the phone challenge where he challenged the individuals to make a podcast using nothing but their phone. So I did that. I kind of did that. If you checked out my 4A 5G 6-month review video, and again, Stats will link that in the chat below, I did at the very end of it a light podcasting read where I used this Rode NT USB Mini, this Rode Mini mic, plugged directly into the 4A 5G, did the editing actually using the Google Recorder app, so not even a heavy lift, something that came very much stock with the Pixel line, light editing, sent it over into my MacBook, put it in the video. It was me reading the old Hootie and the Blowfish, Darius Rucker, Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch commercial. I did a read, but there were certain things that I did not want in the read, so I edited them out. And if you know the original song, you'll know exactly what I edited out. So took it out, no problems. It worked flawlessly. But okay. So how do I put my comment? How do I make these comments up here? Hang on. The audio that Juan got from folks was amazing. Truly fantastic podcasts. Really personal stories. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I just did it to showcase exactly what the 4A 5G could do in terms of an audio podcast. And much like Shelley just said, I've done that. Shure MV88 straight to Anchor. Yeah, it's super easy. Like, people need to use their phones way more than, I mean, I think a lot of us in the chat here, well, I know Juan and Shelley and I, but I mean, Tech Odyssey makes just garbage videos, but he films it on a phone, so I got to give him credit for that. The idea you can do so much more with your phones than I think the most people realize. So with that being said, I created, and I'm going to put this out. If you were on my Instagram, you saw that I put out a 13-second quick video intro to Technically Speaking. I made it completely on the Pixel 5. I filmed in 4K, not even 60 frames a second. And when you look at it, you can totally tell that I didn't do it in 60 frames a second. However, I actually take that back. That's not a fair statement. I used the cinematic pan built into the Pixel 5, camera. Okay. And so I used the cinematic pan, and then I just got a little bit of creative. Look, I have about this much creativity. I used a little bit of creativity and created a 12-second intro clip. So I'm going to be coming out with the video later this week, putting it out there into the universe, challenging individuals to make a 10 to 15-second YouTube entry, YouTube introductory video thing.
Intro.
Thank you. Jesus, what is wrong with me? Good God. I feel like I'm stroking out over my words.
I'm here for you.
Jesus. Create that YouTube entry. What?
Intro.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Take a drink of something.
Get it together.
Cool yourself down.
Good Lord. A 10 to 15 second intro. There we go. As an entry, that's what I was trying to get to. To this challenge. So it'll be challenge number 2. Juan issued the first one, record a podcast. I want you to create a 10 to 15 second intro entry. And the question is phone challenge 2, electric boogaloo. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Let's get creative. I want to see what you can tell me in 10 to 15 seconds with this. Now, what are you going to win? That is a great question. That is a fantastic question.
Scott's undying love and support.
Well, no, I will get you something. We will talk about it in the video. You see what I did there? That's called a teaser. It's also...
Or a tease.
It's a teaser or a tease, either one. It's also because I haven't come up with what you're going to win yet.
There it is.
Hey, there we go. But you will have some sort of entry to win something. The terms will be in the YouTube's description box for the video, but it will be coming out later this week. Pretty excited about that. And I mean, Juan has actually seen mine, and I'm going to put it in the video. I'm not going to put it here. I got to put it over onto YouTube. I have it right now in just a Google Photos thing. I think it's kind of cool. A personalized autograph of Scott. Look.
Where would you be putting the autograph?
Hang on a minute. What if one of the winning things is whatever the thing I decide and an 8x10 of me.
A glossy.
A glossy. A glossy 8x10 of me, and I'll sign it. I kind of want to do that.
I mean, you can send whatever you want. It's just up to the winner whether or not they actually frame it or if they burn it in a fire.
Why would you burn it in a fire? Why?
Why not?
Why do you hate me? What are you so angry about? You want to talk about it?
I just like causing you pain.
Why?
It's fun.
Wow. An autographed piece of cardboard that homeless Conor McGregor sleeps on. Jesus. Good God. Adam's is coming out firing tonight.
That's all right. Our show's on. His isn't.
Goodness me. Good Lord. You two need to get a room. Hey now. So yeah, that video will be coming out later. I'm pretty excited about this challenge as well. Like Juan had mentioned, I love the idea of this challenge. So I will tell you, everything that I filmed, edited, rendered, uploaded, all from a Pixel 5. All of it straight from a Pixel 5. I use Adobe Rush.
What about that weird pink color at the end of the clip?
What?
It looked like you were changing the color of the channel to something that was pink.
Oh, that's just me being lazy and not changing the color. That was literally just me taking what Adobe Rush gave me right out of the box. right out of the box.
I was like, are you going in a new direction?
No, I just changed the words. Just change the words.
Are you making it for Mother's Day on
Nope,
Sunday?
But I am.
Change everything to pink for Sunday.
Pink Sunday. That is going to get me demonetized.
Maybe.
Okay. So let's actually talk a little bit about stuff. So, fun story. Travis MCP put out a video about tracking his friend using Apple AirTags, and the friend didn't know it. He used a rare earth metal magnet, put it in the bottom of the gentleman's Dodge Ram truck, and drove basically across town. He was able to track the friend, even though the friend had zero idea that he had an AirTag on the vehicle. Now, if you know what the AirTags are, you know Apple comes out and says, hey, excuse me, comes out and says, hey, no, you're going to totally be notified. There's no weird stalker thing that's going to come up from using AirTags. Well, see, what had happened was that is not entirely true. So one thing that I challenged myself on was stalking Stats. And Stats didn't know it. Stats came back from his vacation. Where were you down in Puerto Vallarta?
Something like that.
Yeah, somewhere southern. he came back on Saturday and then came over to the house on Sunday, and I acquired, spy on your Android friends with this one wacky trick.
Yeah.
True story. We are androids, full on through and through, and so evidently his Virginia, Ohio, and Oregon. And if you know that story, leave a comment. If you know why I named those specific states, we can be friends.
In more ways than one.
Well, they didn't tell you that it don't apply to Android users. So I acquired an AirTag. Stats did not know. Stats, please let them know that I did not tell you this.
We had been talking about your desire to run this same experiment that Travis was going to run, but I had no idea that you were going to do it with me and my poor vehicle that was doing work for you on Sunday. So
that vehicle didn't do anything. Your chainsaw in the vehicle did do something. It
drove you around. You left your trash and your mask in my vehicle.
Did I leave trash in there?
Yes, you always do.
A lot of times it's just because I'm an ass.
Well,
whatever. Okay.
And I gave you iced tea made with Memphis water.
That is the best.
And I gave you Memphis water.
Okay, so initially I was not going to go do all of this stuff. Initially I had the AirTag. I moved the truck, and I put the AirTag buried within the glove box of the truck. Stats can attest.
Yeah.
He did not see it at all. At all.
I had no idea.
Okay. So we had to drive to a couple stores, come back around. I actually tasked my daughter with saying, okay, I want you to do the screen recordings of the Find My app that Apple has and follow this AirTag. So I have the screen recordings that prove that even though there was no iPhone around at all in our vehicle, it was able to track us and track stats. And the reason was, this is the whole thing that Apple talks about, it pings everybody else's iPhones in just kind of the general area, right? So because we went to a store that had a lot of people in it, well, it's a big store. It was Home Depot. It was a big store. Really, we're all spread out. But again, because there was an iPhone around, or iPhones around, it was able to tell people exactly where we were. Same thing. We went to his condo. Same exact thing. He doesn't have an iPhone in there either at all.
We weren't within range of it when we were outside.
But it somehow magically found where exactly we were. No questions asked. So this goes up to that whole point where Apple's like, you'll get a warning on your iPhone. You don't get that on Android. We were able to very clearly say, my daughter texted me, she goes, you are here, and sent me the address. That is a problem. That is a huge, huge problem. And like they're talking about, like, you can set up these things to make sure that it's not tracking you. The majority of people don't know that. They don't, like, I didn't know that.
Well,
and I'm a techie.
I read another article today that isn't directly related to the AirTags issue. I almost called it a problem, but Apple will never admit that it's an actual design flaw, software flaw.
Oh, it's working as intended.
But the latest update of iOS 14.5 is where they are rolling out and introducing all of their do not track me, giving the users the fine-tooth control over what information is shared with Apple or third-party vendors or something like that. But what Apple isn't telling you is that you don't get any of those options until you update to 14.5. So you have to update to enable any of that. And some of the functionalities of asking an AirTag not to be able to track you are only available on 14.5. So if you have an older iPhone that can't get 14.5 for some reason, but the AirTag can still talk to the Bluetooth on the iPhone, you can still be tracked. And I have a very big problem with that.
I don't know how Apple cannot I don't know how you stop this. Like I don't know how you stop this at all, actually.
I got one way.
Well, don't get an AirTag.
Well, if I find one, I'm going to hit it with a hammer.
Well, I mean, that's the easiest one. Yes, if you were to find one and destroy it, that's the easiest way to do it. And here you go. I think Travis's friend had the latest version of iOS, and it still did what it did.
Yeah.
How does Apple fix exactly to help Android users? It doesn't. I don't think it can. I don't know if it can.
Well, so one of the articles I read about this particular issue was it's
Juan, just don't be poor. Done.
it's part and parcel of what Apple has always done, in that they only want to play in their own sandbox. They don't want to level set with the industry. They don't want to open source anything. They don't want to share. There's a particular phrase I'm looking for where you cross-platform parameters and things like that. And so they've basically created an echo chamber or a silo for themselves when they are developing something. Whether or not they're doing it intentionally, they're only designing, they're only programming for Apple. They don't take into account anybody else and or how that might impact other people who don't want to participate in the Apple ecosystem, but we are forced to now because somehow your AirTag can communicate with other people's Bluetooth.
So Samsung's smart things will track the same way, and they don't do the warning for any users. It's just news because it's Apple this time. I mean that could be true, but it's also smart things probably aren't as probably won't be as popular as AirTags. I'll be honest, until you just mentioned it,
I didn't know Samsung
I didn't even know that
existed. So
I know what Smart Things is. I just didn't know that it was like.
How many have they shipped?
No, like I know it's a thing, like, but I never equated it to that. So there's that much. For me, when you start like Tile does the same thing too, to an extent. It's just the network isn't as good as Apple's. Like honestly, when you have millions and millions and tens of millions of Apple devices, that's way better network infrastructure than what Tile would have, in my opinion. It's just easier to use your already existing infrastructure with MacBooks and iPads and all that other jazz. Like that infrastructure is just, in my opinion, more sound. There you go, right there. Apple needs to work on the Bluetooth signature immediately to get some sort of trigger for all devices. Lovers and yeah, I mean it's exactly like that. The idea is you could be notified that hey, something is doing something with your phone. Your location is being used somewhere in some capacity, even though it's not your location. It's the location of the thing. Samsung said they had 39 million users in their smart things structure during the Galaxy Book presentation. I'm actually, like, I'll be honest, I'm actually surprised it's that small. I actually expected larger than that for Samsung. I don't know why. Like 39 million seems smaller than what I would have thought for Samsung because there's so many devices.
Want to take a random guess at approximately how many iPhones themselves there are in active use in the United States?
Oh, it could hundreds of millions.
113 million.
Yeah, that's a lot. That doesn't even count
iPads. Every 3 people.
How many iPads? Look it up. I don't know. Over 1 billion devices worldwide tracking you. iOS and Mac track our no matter what. I don't know. That, like, to me, this seems to be a bigger issue. Is like, again, I totally understand the need for this, but there's got to be something that they can do, like something. And I don't know the answer. I'm kind of opining or pontificating at this point. Something has to be done. the ability to do with what Travis did, what I was able to do, that's not appropriate. Like at all. It's not appropriate at all. That concerns me to death because he had no idea. I threw it right in his glove box. You would have never seen it. He even admitted it would have been months before he saw it. I would have been able to track his every move, or pretty darn close to it. And that's wild. It's wild. And so I would say this, back to Michael's point of it's only news because it's Apple. Apple you don't get to get it both ways.
Right.
Like you don't get it both ways. You either, like, you can be in the news for all the good and bad the good things that you do, but you also have to be in the news for the things that people don't necessarily agree with. Sorry, if you want to be at that stage, you have to be at the stage. It's the same thing that I talk about with Jordan Spieth when it comes to golf. Drives me insane when this happens is like, you're cool with being in front of the camera when things are going great. But when things are not going great, you want to be like, get that camera out of my face, man. I just want some space. Look, I'm telling you right now, Apple's got to take this one on the chin. If this is a problem, which I think that it is, they just got to take it on the chin. It's the same thing as the you're holding it wrong argument from an iPhone, what was it, the 4 or the 5 or whatever. I think somebody mentioned it in the chat. You got to take it. You have to take it. You don't. It's news because it's Apple. It's Apple. They make the news. Like, that's the thing that happens. You don't. It's, well, everybody else has been doing it. I mean, it's the same argument I make all the time with, like, yeah, Pixel's been doing that 3 years. Shut up, fanboy. You have to take it. You're right. Apple does it because it's them. It's just the fact of the matter of when Apple does something, it's going to make the news. Sorry, Michael. That's just the way it is.
And I agree with Jason C. here. This will be really interesting if, the paparazzi or somebody else gets a hold of something like this, throws it on, I don't know, Jennifer Aniston's car out in Hollywood, and then figures out where she actually lives, if that's not already known,
I'd argue that most celebrities probably have iPhones.
I would agree, because they work with everything, because it's Apple, and they have it's their ecosystem, it's their sandbox. But again, I think you and I sitting here complaining about it is going to do absolutely nothing. But if, celebrities, politicians, other things like that, something that you tried to do in my truck and succeeded, say somebody does that to Mitch McConnell or Jim Jordan or somebody like that and finds out where all of their houses are, where their doctor's appointments are, where their mistresses are, stuff like that. That is where Apple is really going to feel the pain.
And Juan just said it. As soon as someone famous gets talked, then it'll be a real concern.
For
You're absolutely
Apple.
Right.
It's already a real concern.
It's already a real
us,
concern with us,
people.
but we're the very small voice.
I mean, we're large people, but
iPhone is privacy. Somebody tried to argue that in my comments the other day. They're like, I have a hard time trusting Google and their security. Hold up a minute. Let me educate you a little bit on what we're talking about, because people constantly get data security and data privacy mixed. They use those terms interchangeably, and they are not that. They are definitely not that.
Absolutely.
And
you're an expert.
Why you gotta put me on blast?
I'm not.
Why you put me out on Front Street?
I was giving you props.
I appreciate that. There are certain things that I am allowed and not allowed to say. I'm just saying.
Lowercase.
Love it. Jesus, throw me all out of my rhythm now. I appreciate that. But there are certain things that people perceive that Google does that they don't. There are certain things that people perceive that Apple does, and they also don't. I agree with you on this one, Michael. I agree, but on the same side, when it's been going on, it means it's been something that needs to be changed. Everywhere people go, we're talking about, all right, so let me lay this on you. What we're talking about is the information that you're getting out of that AirTag or whatever is absolutely PII information. It is personally identifiable information. Maybe not the zeros and the ones, but the context behind the usage of the AirTag is 100% PII because what is it giving you? It's giving you coordinates. It's giving you GPS. It's giving you exact location. Now, if somebody's going to use that for nefarious means, you are absolutely violating PII because it's putting you will be able to take your hand and put it on the shoulder of the person that you're trying to get the information from. Period. End of story. You are tracking them in nefarious means. I agree that all companies have to figure out how to do that. All companies have to figure out how to do that. Right? There's no question that they have to do that. This getting into that whole Elon Musk conversation about AI and machine learning taking over the world, making sure that we're using data in ways that it's meant to be used, ethical usage of data. That's what we're talking about. We're getting to the point where things like this are coming out far too quickly for legislation, rules, whatever you want to say, to kind of spearhead and cut it off about what's too much. Yeah, it's like cell phone towers on steroids. Exactly. It's giving you exact levels of information, not zip codes, not even city blocks. It's laying in the middle of that field. It's in somebody's purse. It's in somebody's truck. It's under somebody's truck. That's really specific stuff. That's very, very scary.
And that's not even going down the route of what some of the things you and I talked about on Sunday. What happens when law enforcement gets a hold of these and just starts throwing on random people's cars that they want to know where they're going before or even if they even have suspicion that they've committed a crime? That is a violation of Fourth Amendment. And then you've got the ACLU and the government involved in that. And that's something Apple definitely wants to stay away from. So again, how did we get here?
Well, so the good news is some of the good stuff that I will say is I think actually Apple, because of what they've made, is going to push this conversation probably where it needed to go a long time ago. These things that we're talking about now are things that we needed to talk about a long time ago, but we're getting to the point where, because it's becoming much more mainstream, mom and pop can grab a $30 AirTag and give it in a stocking, but they don't know the ramifications behind those things,
right? Because
it's just so easy to do. Because again, Apple, it just works. Setting up the AirTag was ridiculously simple, which is great. It's exactly what Apple wanted it to do. Using it in some nefarious means, I feel like they're pushing the conversation to go there, which is where it needs to go. I just don't know the outcome of it, because there's certain things that you want. I want to be able to track my keys if I lose them. I want to be able to track my wallet if I lose it. I want to throw this in the backpack of my kid just in case. But I'm a parent. What happens if somebody wants to throw that in the backpack of somebody else that's not their parent?
Or their kid.
Correct. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of those times Apple should have worked more on with it and done the research before. They copied what's already been done and it has had issues. Apple bringing it out to the very easy, huge mass, because $30 for an AirTag, by the way, phenomenal price. It works. It works well. So I got it from the it works part. It's great. It works so well, in fact. That's a problem. But I agree with you.
Better than they ever intended.
I feel like they probably needed to think that one through a little bit more. And I don't know what that would have been. Probably wouldn't have cost $30 if they did it.
Well, I mean, again, I've never used any of these type of products, whether it be from Tile or Samsung or, Galaxy to Apple, whatever. So I guess the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is don't make it talk to other devices that aren't related to that AirTag. So you set up your AirTags on your iPhone.
Yeah, but if I lost my keys out in the middle of nowhere and I don't have my iPhone with me, well, I guess I wouldn't be able to see it that way anyway.
Right. So.
But how would it know to ping it?
Well, but that's the thing. That, in my mind, would make it more secure. If the only iPhone that can ping it and the only iPhone that can then receive the location data for that AirTag is the iPhone that it's associated with.
I hear you, but how would you do that? It doesn't have a cell service. It doesn't have
Make it NFT or
NFC.
NFC. Thank
But
you.
it wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't be able to ping anything. Then there would be no signal for you to tell you where it's at. It would need some sort of GPS, Wi-Fi, cellular. It would need something to tell you I'm right here. And even if it was cellular, it would just be a triangulation of it's in this vicinity area.
Well, but I mean,
with the GPS chip, it would be like you're right here.
Okay, so again, why couldn't they have done one of those things but limit the association to one or, two devices that are actively registered with that, or the AirTag is registered with that device?
No, I still think it wouldn't function the way it would do the typical, well, it doesn't function the way Apple would want it, therefore it's not going to work that way. And I mean, Uncle Thursday Gaming, that destroys the entire concept of trying to find the lost items. That's the thing. It needs the other networks to say, I'm right here. I ping these other networks. That thing's this iPhone's close to me. Come here. Come get me.
So I guess what I need to understand more then is why haven't people been doing this with tiles for the last 10 years that they've been around? Why haven't we been hearing about this? What is different about a tile than an Apple AirTag?
And this gets to the point right here, what Michael just says. I wonder if they had never done AirTags, how long would other companies be allowed to have products that's just as flawed? I think it's just said that it takes Apple doing something. That's Apple though. That's the thing that Juan and I constantly argue over, and many of us here too, is like it takes Apple doing something. It's the same concept, and I hate to say it, but remember like NFC to pay, tap to pay, Google Pay, Google Wallet. Google Wallet had the ability to do tap to pay long before Apple did. True story. Look it up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think. Thank you. You were on top of it. I'm with you, girl. It's like the tap to pay, but nobody wanted to update their card readers in their shops. It wasn't monetarily advantageous for them. The ROI wasn't there. But as soon as Apple was like, I have tap to pay with my iPhone, everybody and their brother got all over it. I tap to pay everywhere now.
The credit card companies jumped on it.
Absolutely, they
once
did.
Apple did it, yeah.
It was just as soon as Apple did it. That's the thing that drives me insane. I agree with you, Michael, but the problem is Apple moves the barometer. We gotta I don't like admitting it, but they do. They move the barometer. Are they still my preferred choice when it comes to cell phones? No, but I use a MacBook every day. I have an iPad Pro. Use it every day. Still enjoy my Pixel. That's the way it is. Juan, ultimately, they need to be able to opt out of the AirTag network.
And I think that's going to be the biggest thing. But again, Apple is going to have to be more forthcoming, and they're going to have to make sure every single iPhone user that the AirTag network is capable of communicating with their phones has a positive acknowledgement of whether or not they are opting in or out. And potentially the default should be opt out.
So here you go. Dan's telling us you need to have the Tile app installed. This is where it's different. You opt in to what you're talking about. You opt into the Tile app. And like Juan is saying, like with the Tile, you aren't brought into the network unless you own the Tile.
Right.
With Apple, they're opting everyone in if you want it or you don't.
And I think that'll hopefully be the blowback to where they'll flip it. They'll opt everybody out and then ask you to opt in on some other future update like 14.6 or whatever.
Well, so I think if that's going to be the case, they would have to, again, everybody's out, prompt you with the notification. Do you want to opt into the AirTag network? You probably, so if you own an AirTag, you automatically opt in.
Right. If you buy
one, you're automatically opt in unless
you
you choose not to, which I think would be kind of stupid. But then you become part of that same network. Yeah. Whereas like Dan and Juan is saying with Tile, you have to opt in because you have to have the app.
Right.
Which I like better. I still don't.
Well, yeah.
That's still flawed.
Anytime there's an automatic opting in without me giving me the choice, which has been a large topic of discussion recently, that's always going to leave a bad taste in my mouth. Give me a choice. Give me, the user, the consumer, the person paying for the service, the option.
Well, that you get into the whole conversation where you can monetize your PII. There's a whole slew of research that's out there talking about monetizing your data that you already willingly give
I know.
Facebook and Instagram and
Yeah.
yada yada yada. Yeah.
We should all just go to TikTok and leave all the other social media behind.
God, I love TikTok. Oh my God, I spend hours on TikTok. I fought it. I don't fight it anymore. Give in to the temptation. Again, though, Uncle Thursday Gaming, if everybody is out by default, it defeats the purpose of being able to find the lost items. I hear you.
But at the same
time, if I don't own an AirTag and I don't own a Tile, I don't own any of those services, I don't want to be opted in for me because you lost your shit.
Right.
I can't help that you lost your keys. Put them in your pocket.
Right.
Like it's not, but if I own an AirTag or I own a Tile, then I'm going to be like, yeah, cool. I want to help out somebody else who has these things. I'm opting in.
Yeah. Just give me the option, one way or the other.
Some would say that if you buy anything Apple, it's anything that does nothing. Some would say, I may not be one of them, but some would say that anything with an Apple logo absolutely does nothing.
It's overpriced by about 200%.
I mean, they're making a big... So here you go. They're making a huge stink about data disclosure with Facebook, but AirTag, you're not wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong. Mm-hmm. We don't disagree right here. What we're thinking is like Apple needs to find a way to make it used better than opting in millions of people who don't know they're opted in.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
I mean, at this point, I'm just thinking both of my parents' phones are recent enough, and I know that they are on 14 dot something. So my parents, who don't even know what an AirTag is because they don't follow tech. Well, I mean, they do now because they're watching the show, but they don't follow tech like we do. They don't follow tech like the majority of people in the chat. They are automatically opted into a network that they are never going to use and more than likely never know that is even available on their phone. Yep. And that, like you said a couple of minutes ago, is an invasion of their privacy.
And so Michael's saying they'll have to make an entire separate app network for it because it's using the same structure as Find My. So when you turn on Find My, you're currently opting in. I'm opting in for my stuff. I want to find, but I don't want to help. I don't want my phone to help you find your stuff. Right? Like I think that's what, 100%. If I'm understanding what you're saying is like, if you lose your keys that have your AirTag on it, but I opted out of the AirTag network. But if I lost my phone has the ability to be pinged from, again, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, the whole 9 yards. And I agree with you. This is another one. AirTag can still function with a fine limited number of AirTag owners. Tile wouldn't survive this. Agreed with that. Tile would not have survived this long without the idea of having some sort of opt-in network where you had to have an app work. They wouldn't have survived this long. Yeah. They wouldn't continue to make the evolutions that they are in the products that they have as well.
Again,
I don't know what the answer is, but I can tell you what currently is happening isn't the answer.
Yeah. Well,
ooh, that is a great point.
Wow.
Juan coming right straight for the jugular tonight. The AirTag can still function. Oh, wait. Wait, no, that's not it.
Nope.
Here we go.
The next one.
Apple is making an anti-competitive play here, ripping off Tile and forcing all of their customers in. It's the forced in part that I have a problem with. Give me the prompt. If I would opt in, like me purposely, I would opt in because I have an AirTag.
And your family runs on Apple except for your phones. So it's going to be useful for your family because any one of a dozen devices here in the house can activate and use that AirTag. But
Yep.
yeah,
You're exactly right. The problem is the implementation. The idea is phenomenal. I have had a Tile. It works. I actually got a Tile with my Nomad wallet. It works. It's great. The implementation is lacking. That's the issue that we're having is it's the not opting in. The largest, by the way, the largest platform. Android is the largest worldwide. Now, granted, in the United States, not the case. I get it. Well, maybe. I actually don't know that. I'm pretty sure that it's Apple, though. I can't remember. Maybe Android's still winning, but the idea is like it's still there is a whole half of individuals that are not using Apple devices. That's a problem. Like they don't know if they're being tracked. We were able to prove that it works to track somebody from an Android perspective, and that makes my skin crawl and my head itch. Woo! I closed the show notes because I figured that we were just going to talk about this the whole time.
I mean, we've been doing it for 45 minutes. So.
Good Lord. Can we talk about how Signal absolutely eviscerated Facebook?
Yes, please, because
Good
anything
Lord.
we can do to slap the Zuckerberg down.
I mean, just eviscerated. Ooh, Lord have mercy. So, from Gizmodo, Signal tries to run the most honest Facebook ad campaign ever and immediately gets banned for it. So, they ran a series of privacy-positive messaging on Instagram ads about Facebook, specifically calling out the things that you do to tell you this is what they can find on you. So in a series of this, the ads were meant to show the users a bevy of data that Instagram and its parent company collects on its users by targeting those users with their own ad tech tools. Hilarious. The idea is pretty simple because Instagram and Facebook share the same ad platform. Any data that gets hoovered up on any of those things, which is much as Stats and I doesn't want to admit it, Facebook has our data.
Mm-hmm.
They can target it. So they basically send you this thing in. Signal sends it to you in targeted ads. You got this ad because you're a K-pop loving chemical engineer. This ad is used to use your location to see that you're in Berlin. You had a new baby, you just moved, and you're really feeling those pregnancy exercises lately.
If I ever saw an ad that
Holy
was
Jesus.
that specific,
I
might just throw away my phone because that is, I mean, my internet search history is a little weird. That would be, off-putting if I got something that, I mean, there are times where, you know, it's the old, you talk about buying something and then 10 minutes later your phone shows you an ad for that thing, but that is very detailed.
That is extremely detailed. So this next one was, you got this ad because you're a teacher, but more importantly, you're a Leo and single. This ad used your location to see you're in Moscow.
I love Uncle Putin, probably loves that.
You like to support sketch comedy, and this ad thinks you do drag. Really, really aggressive. You got this ad because you're a GP and a master's of art history, also divorced. This ad used your location to see you're in London. Your online activity shows that you've been getting into boxing, and you're probably getting a new motorcycle. Or probably getting there on your new motorcycle. That is unbelievably invasive and scary. And I know they have that information on me. Like information like that, not that specific information. And that creeps me out. I don't want that.
Well, no, hang on.
Oh, that's creepy.
I was going to say, for next week's show, you and I should do a challenge of coming up with a targeted Signal ad for each other.
Nope.
Hang on. That can be read on air.
No.
Really?
Strong pass.
I mean, I could come up with one for you right off the top of my head.
Okay. Go.
So you got this ad because
can't wait.
You're a golfer.
Fair.
Who also loves to drive his Jeep with the top down. You love to sing. And, obviously your location is XYZ because that was a part of all these ads. They're using the location tags within your data. So golf, Jeep, singing on Instagram, and your location. So, that would wake you up because you do all of those things.
What about things like you're a golfer, you're looking for exercises to strengthen your back. You're looking to get information on how to fix the truck.
Yeah.
Like that's like you got my attention now. Like
Absolutely.
you have my attention. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Yeah, I love the ads. I love the idea of this. Love the idea. Yes, I do sing Broadway tunes. Singing Broadway tunes. Yes, I do. Makes me glad I rarely use Facebook. I don't even have Facebook. We could get even more specific. Yes, we can. Doesn't mean we should. We can. Oh, yeah, we can. Doesn't mean we should. Working from home. Google has reversed some course about working from home. Google has said they are expecting most to return to campus, that 60% of the staff will come back, but they're going to go to some sort of hybrid approach. I'm going to read this a little bit more, but Tresslong 33. How about meetings where somebody only to leave their company later on, open up on Facebook and see them pop up as friends you may know? Yep. There's your location right there. Shared location. You're both on Facebook. You might be of some sort of same demographic information. You know each other. No, I don't know each other. The exact same thing happened to my boss and my wife. Like, that's weird that I said it out loud. So we were all hanging out when we were all moving. He was here helping us move. So later on, it said, you may know this person, and it was my boss's wife had friended my wife because it was you may know this person because they both had Facebook.
Yeah, that's 3 degrees too far for me.
Yeah, that's exactly how. Uncle Thursday Gaming, I can sing quite a bit.
From the Pirates of Penzance, though?
Probably not.
That one, that's almost Eminem rapping speed singing.
I can do Hamilton.
Very complex.
I can do Hamilton. Yep. Anyway, so Google work from home flexible work week. There has been a ton of information about companies working remote. I have a very aggressive stance when it comes to working remote. I love the idea of working remote. Don't get me wrong. I do completely understand the concept of going in, team meetings, camaraderie, yada, yada, yada. It's the flexibility that I have. I get to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my family. Huge, really important for me. Like, I love that. I love it very, very much. But Google has been pretty staunch in saying everybody will be coming back into it. But now they're saying what other tech companies are doing is allowing 20% to be able to apply to work from home permanently. Now, this is after Jamie Dimon, super CEO of JP Morgan Chase, giant asshole, has come out and said that he thinks working from home is stupid. Said something to the effect of that it basically causes like laziness and something, this, that, and the other.
Even though over the last 14 months, major domestic and international corporations have actually seen their productivity go up after the first couple of weeks of people adjusting to the working from home. If you look at it as a whole, productivity has gone up.
Now, in fairness, though, the lines between home and work are blurred more than they've ever been. People are working more and feel more overworked. I would challenge some of those companies and go, it's because you have pointless meetings. It's because you have a series of meetings.
Or it's because they refuse to hire enough people to actually do all of the work.
Well, okay, let's take that out of it for a second. Like, there's this weird psychological, sociological thing that a lot of companies feel as though, and I say a lot of companies, like big, huge companies, I'm sure, based on what I know, Google is the same way of people, associates feel like we have to constantly be on Zooms because we have to be showing that, hey, no, we're working. We're working. When we're working remote, we're here, we're working. When in reality is the actual work is happening on the edge cases. They're happening before the 9s and after the 5s, before the 8s and after the 6s, whatever. The work is still getting done, but they feel burned out because in the middle of the day, there's just too many meetings to happen. I average well over 40 hours or 40 meetings a week, me personally. And I decline a lot. So it is definitely a real thing. So we have to, working remote is not going to go away, and it shouldn't go away. It has provided a lot of flexibility where I can, like, I go upstairs and I can do the dishes really quick. Everything that I would have done had I gotten a coffee with somebody in the office, I can go upstairs and handle it. And then when I leave work at my desk, I can go enjoy my family. I'm not doing the dishes. I'm not stuck in traffic. I'm not doing those things. I get to be the dad, the husband with them. And I like that. There's too many distractions when you're working from home, kids, fridge, TV, pets. The kids, yes, the fridge, definitely for me. TV, no, I have music on a lot, but I always had music on before. It's like, for me, that was just something that I have always done. But I always did, even when I was in the office, I always had headphones in. So that was just something that I got accustomed to. I don't think there's too many distractions. I think you can put yourself in a situation where I don't have a TV in this room. I don't even have a TV service, so it doesn't matter anyway. I consume most of my media on my phone anyway. But again, a lot of times between that 8 and 5:30, I don't have time to even think about that. And I actually had more time when I was in the office to then be on my phone than not. That's just I think that people are blowing it way out of proportion when it comes to, we got to go back into the office because of collaboration. Baloney. There are great collaboration tools out there. Slack, Microsoft Teams.
We've been using them for the last 14 months.
Yeah.
And they work.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's just the way that it is. And a lot of companies, especially the companies like we work for, we're global anyway. Mm-hmm. We're going to be on video chat no matter what, because the people that we need to talk to aren't even in the same state because they're at other offices. So it's just a matter of, like, we got to think differently. We have to change the way we work. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people talked about, like, what do you mean you're only going to work 40 hours? What is that? I'm supposed to get all this stuff done. What do you mean you want labor rights? Not getting it's, again, really far-fetched, but you get the general gist of things have evolved and we have to evolve as well. I'll get off my soapbox now. Love to know your thoughts, Stats.
Not appropriate.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, God. Stats, we've been going an hour. Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
No.
Google accidentally released
Tell everybody about your new speaker.
The bathroom fan speaker? The bathroom fan speaker. Phenomenal idea. Didn't know this was a thing. We got our bathroom worked on, and they put a new fan in. In said new fan, there's a Bluetooth speaker. So that means when you're in the bathroom, for whatever reason, you can listen to music. And if you're in the shower, I listen to music constantly. I have a Google Home in my bathroom. Yes, I was just complaining about privacy. I have a Google Home in my bathroom.
So do I.
Because I listen to a ton of music. So I just put the music on, then I do the thing. Shower, typically, is what I mean.
Uh-huh.
I think Google was just talking to me. Or I'm hearing things.
You're hearing things.
So it's now that Bluetooth speaker is in the fan. And it's awesome. And I love it. And it's cool. And I never knew it existed. Not once. That's what I was excited about.
Awesome.
So Okay, stats. Where can they find you?
As always, Helix Heinlein on the tweet machine, Country Smith on the Instagram.
You can find me at the Scott Peachy on Instagram, at Scott Peachy on Twitter. I'm mostly on Twitter. I'm on TikTok watching. I'm watching on
You're
TikTok.
not creating content on
Nope.
TikTok yet?
I think I did make one TikTok. Hang on. Let's validate. Did I make a TikTok? Am I TikToking? TikTok. Oh boy, that's loud. No. The answer is I haven't made a TikTok. What was that? Got it. What's something? When they say, "What hood you from, bro?" That is probably not going to end in an appropriate joke. But that's the TikTok that I'm on right now.
Probably not.
All right. That's all I got, folks. We're going to be back next week. Video later about that challenge. Check the channel. Check my socials. It'll be all over that. Can I get a higher?
Yeah.
So stupid.
Good night, everybody.
So dumb.